On go.
Welcome, everybody, to the return episode of Clipboard Confessional with Bobby and Anthony. I'm one of your hosts, Anthony Anian. And joining me, and it's been a bit. It's been a bit. Life has gotten in the way a little bit. Holidays, flu bugs, family. But we're back. We're back for the playoffs. We're back for the offseason. We're back to get you ready for 2026 football. My colleague, partner, good friend, co-host, Bobby Wall. Bobby, what's up, buddy? Happy New Year.
Oh, happy New Year, man. Feels good to be back in this chair, this microphone in front of my face, man. I missed it. The hiatus was okay, got some extra family time, but man, it feels good to be back talking some football.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you tune in each and every week. And today we're going to talk a little coaching. We're going to talk Wild Card Weekend here as we get ready, keeping in mind Wild Card Weekend, 6 games, including 2 on Saturday, Rams, Panthers, Packers, Bears, buried miserably on Amazon Prime. Don't get me started. There's Bobby's reaction. I feel the same way. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Triple header on Sunday should be fun. Buffalo Bills, Jacksonville Jaguars, 49ers, and Bobby's Philadelphia Eagles. And then Sunday Night Football, Chargers, Pats. And then a Monday Nighter between the Texans and the in by the skin of their teeth Pittsburgh Steelers. But speaking of that game, we've had a bunch of coaching firings. Mike McDonald today, a bunch of others, but 2 big names that I wanted to get your thoughts on, Bob. Kevin Stefanski, I think, unjustly let go by the Cleveland Browns. When you give him garbage talent, tough to make. They were asking him to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and he still won Coach of the Year twice. And John Harbaugh let go by the Baltimore Ravens, whereas if that field goal goes through the uprights, he probably still has a job, and maybe Mike Tomlin is looking for a job. Your thoughts on a couple of those firings?
Yeah, so Stefanski is definitely a good coach. I'm not a huge fan of retreads. It depends on who it is. Obviously, you get someone like Andy Reid coming along. That's a great retread. For me, I think John Harbaugh will be a fantastic addition to wherever he goes. It's unfortunately looking like your Giants are in the lead of that race right now. Not my favorite.
Love it.
Stefanski, yes, I just don't know. I don't know where I would want him with the openings. Honestly, probably Baltimore if I had to pick a spot for Stefanski. I mean that organization
Stefanski, head coach of Baltimore, Mike McDonald, offensive coordinator.
I mean that would
That's a dangerous Baltimore
I
team
know.
right there.
Yes, and Baltimore is that organization is one of the best well-run organizations in probably all of sports, I think. I mean, they draft so great every year. So whatever coach comes in there, they got the playbook already out for how to build a great franchise. So I think Stefanski, he's got obviously the credentials you mentioned to two-time coach of the year. You're going into a spot that's set up to win right now. Now it's pretty interesting, going in division. That's never fun how
Yeah.
for the team he's leaving at least. But I think that'd be a great spot for him.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a great spot, a fun spot for him as well. And I agree. I think Harbaugh is the first choice for a lot of teams. I know he's the first choice for the Giants. And I think the Giants are one of the more desirable teams. Why? They have a head coach. They have a quarterback in place. I think Tennessee is a desirable spot. They have a young quarterback in place. They do though. If you believe in Cam Ward, then that's a desirable spot. If you don't think Cam Ward's a good player, it's not. Atlanta could be somewhat desirable as well. They got a bunch of young pieces there you can work with. I don't think Miami's desirable at all. That looks like a rebuild. I don't know if Arizona's desirable unless you think Kyler Murray can be salvaged. If you're somebody who feels like you could salvage Kyler Murray, then it's desirable. If you need to restart a quarterback, it's a tough spot. The Raiders are the Raiders desirable? I think they are with the first pick in the draft and their choice of either Mendoza or the quarterback from Oregon to potentially go there. Do you think the Raiders are a desirable job?
Um, the thing they have 3 things going for them. That number 1 overall pick, like you said, Brock Bowers, and Ashton Genty. They got some pieces on offense, some building blocks, young, very talented players. But outside of that first overall pick, and they do have about $100 million in cap space, which is
I
nice.
trade Max Crosby in a heartbeat too for more another first round pick if I get it.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to give up a first round pick for a 30 plus year old pass
Second,
rusher that's towards the end of his career. I mean, how many years does he have left? I know we've been saying that about Myles Garrett for forever. He just set the sack record, which is incredible. Um, but for me, I got the Raiders. There are now 8 teams that need a head coach after Mike McDaniel got fired. And it's funny because when Harbaugh got let go, I sent you a text,
yeah,
and you said every one of these teams is going to be going for him. And then I think I said it to you. 9 teams have been talking about John Harbaugh, and there's not even 9 openings. So there are
openings.
I know there are a couple of teams out there like, man, do we really like this head coach we got? I mean, we could have John Harbaugh, which is kind of funny. So for me, I actually I went ahead and ranked uh, the openings for head coaching vacancies before our show, and I can't decide which position, which team I think is the most desirable. And it's between the Ravens. They're in a win now mode. Obviously, great organization. Mentioned all that stuff. How long do you have Derrick Henry in that running game? Not sure. He
You
wasn't
at least got one more year though.
for sure. Definitely got one
Guy
more
ran for
year.
1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns. He ain't done
Yeah,
yet.
that's true. Absolutely. But as a head coach, you need more than one year. You're looking ahead. You're looking down the road.
And Keaton
Lamar
Mitchell
Jackson,
is a nice fallback option too.
yeah, he's well. How no one can stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. Lamar Jackson's played a full season one time in his career, and I know Lamar Jackson is physically one of the most gifted quarterbacks we've probably ever seen. Honestly, if we're talking physical traits, can't seem to get over the hump, can't seem to win when it really, really matters. Now, another coach could come in, maybe squeeze that extra little bit of juice out of them that they need. Not sure. Obviously, these head coaches think that they can. You got to have a big ego to be able to do this job. But also, man, the New York Giants, your New York football Giants. I mean, you mentioned Jackson Dart. Yeah, that's great. I mean, you want to have a young, good, talented quarterback to build your team on. You got Cam Scatterbo. You got a young, talented running back who outperformed most people's expectations. You got Malik Neighbors. I know he's coming back from injury, but he's one of the best receivers in the league. You didn't mention your defense, Abdul Carter, great pass rush you guys got. I thought you kind of underperformed in the pass rush category this year with what you had, but you know, next
Well,
year we can
Burns was
improve there.
great. Carter was much better in the second half. He had to get his head on
Right.
straight. Secondary
Right.
wasn't good. And they have the fifth overall pick, which
Yes.
will go either, I think he's from Arizona State, the wide receiver, or Tate from Ohio State. I think they're drafting a wide receiver at 5 and kind of do what these other teams have done, which is build that super offense. Neighbors, no guarantee for week 1 necessarily, and give Dart more options. I love the idea of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And your O line is talented once you get healthy. You had a lot of injuries along your O line this year. Atlanta for me comes in at 3. They got Bijan and Drake London. I mean, 2 of the best players at their position in all of
Yeah.
football. And dude, the defense, and they fell off in the middle of the year. They had like an 8 game stretch. That was not good. But don't look now. The Atlanta Falcons had the second most sacks in the NFL. My gosh, how long, how many years, decades have we been saying, gosh, Atlanta can't get to the quarterback. Atlanta can't get to the quarterback. I mean, Vic Beasley led the league in sacks like 8 years ago, and that was as close as they ever got. Uh, and who wouldn't want to play in the NFC South? That is
Yeah.
the weakest. I mean, the winner of the division was under 500 this year.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty desirable spot. And then I mean, we're pulling hairs here between Arizona, Miami, Cleveland. Um, None of these teams have a quarterback really. They have little pieces here. You got Marvin Harrison in Arizona. You got Jalen Waddle. I don't want the Tyreek Hill circus if I'm a head coach. I don't need to mess with that.
Not at all.
And then now Cleveland, Quinshon Judkins, Harold Fannin Jr., Mason Graham on the D line, Carson Schweshinger, dude. I called him as defensive rookie of the year, if you remember that.
Yeah.
And he might get it, dude. He balled out this year. they have a good core group of young players, but Cleveland just feels like a black hole of sadness, and that's not somewhere I really want to go.
And
And
you
then
got to
Tennessee,
question, as a head coach in Cleveland, you have to question the patience ownership has for you.
you got to
Stefanski won
question.
2 coaches of the year. He didn't have a quarterback. His running back was not on the field all summer and then injured in down the stretch. His wide receiver room was depleted. Fannin was his tight end. He kind of came out of nowhere. The defense balled out all year. You went through 3 quarterbacks, and you know what they say: if you have 3 quarterbacks, it really means you have none. And he's saddled with the Deshaun Watson contract, who's going to be on the team next year. They've already said it. And the guy won 2 coaches of the year, and it didn't matter. Didn't matter. And he's going to Belichick someone. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the, winningest coach of all time or anything like that. But he's going to Belichick someone. He's going to leave Cleveland and go on to major success somewhere. To me, he's not a retread. He did his time in Cleveland, and it's like, how do I phrase it? It's like a guy who in baseball was a minor league manager his whole career, and now he gets his first gig in the majors. That's what getting out of Cleveland is for a head coach. It is. Like, it's the same thing as a guy who coached the Jets and moves on. Robert Saleh, who left the Jets, went back to the 49ers, he's going to get a head coaching job this year, and he's going to have success. Because you know what? Like when we were kids, when we took a beat and we learned our lesson. That's what happens to you when you coach the Jets. That's what happens when you coach the Browns. You took a beating, you learned your lesson, and you came out of it better than you went in. That's the reality of it.
Is Baltimore where you would want to see him go?
Stefanski?
Yeah.
To me, he was my first choice for the Giants until Harbaugh got fired, which was like a day or two later. So to me, he's the number 2 overall choice. It would make sense for Baltimore, unless Harbaugh goes elsewhere. And then it's the Giants. And then Mike McCarthy, I think, is the 3rd best option for teams that are closer to winning.
Really interesting. Yep. Okay.
Mike McCarthy is very good at fixing messes. He did it in Dallas. Now, he didn't get him over the hump. Mm-hmm. And you look at some of these teams, like the Giants, and I don't know if McCarthy works there in Baltimore. But if you look at a team that's a mess, the Raiders, the Giants, Mike McCarthy on one of those teams makes them respectable again very quickly, quicker than some no-name guy.
Yeah, but I don't want to win 10 games. And that's what Mike McCarthy's going to come and do.
But you got to get back to that before you go to the next step. And they've been so far away from that right now the next step can't be, I want to win a Super Bowl. The ownership mindset needs to be, I need to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars were perennial losers. They had a quarterback who just in August we were questioning whether he was it, right? They brought in Liam Cohen. No, he wasn't a retread, an offensive coordinator they brought in. I don't think anybody sits here and really expects, unless you're down in Jacksonville, I don't think anybody expects the Jacksonville Jaguars to win the Super Bowl this year, right? I don't think that's real. I don't think that's realistic. I personally don't even have them winning this weekend against Buffalo. But you got to take the first step to get to the next step. And the first step, what Liam Cohen did, A, saved Trevor Lawrence's career, B, brought them back to respectability. Now Jacksonville Jaguars are respectable. Now they're a desired location. Now it's easier to recruit a free agent. Why? We're back on the map. You're back on the map. You bring in Mike McCarthy, John Harbaugh. You go from, what did the Giants win? 4 games? You go to that to winning 7 or 8 games. First of all, both of those names get you a free agent or 2. Then you go to 7 or 8 wins. Now you're back on the map. You know what 7 or 8 wins get you next year? 2nd place in the NFC East.
You think? Oh, you mean 7 or 8 wins on top of your 4?
No, get me 8 wins. Get me 8 wins. 8 wins with 2nd place in the NFC East. Dallas isn't getting younger. They're gonna piss all their money away on George Pickens. Yeah. Washington's the oldest team in the league.
Yep.
Right. So 8 wins, you second place. And you know what? You 8 wins, 9 wins, second place. You're at least in contention for a wild card down the stretch. Not saying you're getting in, but you're more respectable than what you've been. That's
Well,
what those coaches do. They could do it to the Raiders if they draft the right quarterback. They could bring them closer to respectability because nobody respected them. Bring the Giants closer to respectability. It's why I thought the Jets should have fired Aaron Glenn after 1 year because Aaron Glenn didn't do what he needed to do. He didn't make that team more respectable. In fact, down the stretch, that team quit on him. They lost the last 5 games by like 25 points a game, if not more. They quit on him. They're not closer to being respectable. They're further away. That's why Glenn should have been fired. Let him go back to Detroit and be D coordinator.
I like when you get fired up.
Doesn't happen often, but there it is. There
Yeah,
it
that,
is.
and the stuff. I mean, I'm not going to argue with anything you said at all. Actually, I'm going to make you feel even better, which I don't like to do that often. But on average, we get 1 to 2 teams that drafted in the top five that the following year they end up in the playoffs. And I think the New York Giants have got that written all over it. Oh, I think you guys have that written all over you. Top five pick coming up, going to go right into the playoffs. I could absolutely see that. And you mentioned Tennessee. I'm not a Cam Ward guy, and they have zero legitimate young stars. They have just like the Raiders. They got over $100 million in cap space, which is great. But there's certainly NFL guys that are Cam Ward, truthers, and they're going to think that that's a good deal. They want to work with him. It's not me. They're
If you
they're
could
last.
redraft last April's draft, who would be the first pick in the draft?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I know it
Well,
would not be.
realistically, it would be a quarterback. Like it would be. In my opinion, it would be Jackson Dart. Now, I'm not saying he's the best rookie in the draft, but leaving the teams as they are, Tennessee Titans, the first overall pick, they knowing now what they knew then, they would take Jackson Dart over Cam Ward. Right or wrong?
Yeah, no, they would have to. They would have to make that pick
And you could
because,
even make a case that Tyler Shuck would be the second quarterback drafted.
dude, what a turnaround he had, man. That was. I started really rooting for him down the stretch because everybody hates him, and he just kept very quietly getting it done. I liked
If
it.
you're the New Orleans Saints, you're not thinking about a quarterback in this draft.
Um, I don't think so. I don't think
No,
Kellen Moore is. I think Kellen Moore saw enough from Tyler Shuck that he's like, we can make this work.
we can make
We
this
got
work.
right. We got Jawan Johnson. We got Chris Olave. I mean, they started to make it work this year.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So some fun stuff there. That's for sure. All right. Let's talk about this weekend's game. We're going to get some
Yes.
predictions out of you. All right. We're going to get some predictions out of you. We'll start with we'll go in order of the time slots. So Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, the 5 seed Rams, 12-5, against the 4 seed Carolina Panthers. Coming into this recording, which is Thursday evening, about 7:30 Eastern time, the Rams are a 10.5 point favorite, and the total on this game is 46.5. Now, I just want to throw 2 quick stats at you, and then I'm going to let you wall all over this. Here we go. Yes, I used your last name as a verb there. Okay. Over the last 3 weeks, because I don't care about the whole season anymore. Over the last 3 weeks, the Rams have averaged about 33 points per game. However, they've allowed 28 points a game. The Carolina Panthers, though, over the last 3 weeks, have averaged less than 16 points a game. They're not putting points on the board and have allowed 21 points per game. How do the Carolina Panthers even keep this game close against the Rams, who are getting Devontae Adams back?
Well, I'm not sure I have an answer for you because
Do they not keep it close?
no, I don't see how they can. I mean, the Rams are good on both sides of the ball. The Panthers aren't very good on either side of the ball. And
Did the Panthers win the division or the Buccaneers lose it?
oh, the Buccaneers lost it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Um, yeah, no, that's not even a question. Now, keep in mind, this is a redo of what, like 5 weeks ago, and the Panthers did beat the Rams.
Yeah, they did.
It, what was that in? It
Like my
was a home
father used
game.
to say, a blind squirrel every now and then finds a nut.
That's right. It was in Carolina, I believe. And look, we know it's division games are tough. You want to play a team 2 or 3 times in the same year. It's tough to beat a team twice. It ain't happening today, buddy. The Panthers were what 27th ranked offense, under 500. We mentioned already. It's I'm sorry. I'm in Carolina. I got a lot of folks down here that are diehard Panthers fans. They know what's coming. Not a
Yeah. Okay.
single one of them has been like, you know what? I think we got it this weekend. They're just happy to be in the dance, to be honest with you.
Okay. Fair enough. I agree. Is this must watch football? Or if you got to rake the leaves, can you go do it during this game?
Oh, yeah, yeah. You can rake the leaves. That's fine.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain all day up here in the Northeast on Sunday. On Saturday, so I'll be able to watch it. I agree with you. Who is okay? Let me ask you this question. We're going to talk a little fantasy football here as well. FFPC format, right? You're familiar. Pick one player from any team, set your lineup now, and then war of attrition. Hope you have two guys left from the Super Bowl. If you're going to pick, now I'm going to full disclosure. I'll ruin the surprise early. Rams are my Super Bowl champion when I did the bracket. Rams are my Super Bowl champion. That makes me pick either when I set my lineups, Puka or Matthew Stafford as my Ram representative. Because I want one of those guys for as many games as possible. I'll probably set up two lineups. One I'll put Stafford in, one I'll put Puka in. Who is, if you could pick one Ram for the playoffs, which one would it be?
Puka.
Puka over Stafford?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Because I think you can get all right, let's look at every wide receiver in the playoffs, and then let's look at every quarterback in the playoffs. I think you can probably find higher production from the quarterback than you are going to. Puka's the best wide receiver possibly in the whole playoffs. So I think you roll with him.
Okay, fair enough. Now, Carolina, we both agree is going to struggle, is going to be eliminated in one game. Now, the way it works in FFPC, I believe there's like one team or two teams that you don't have to use a player. Is this the team that you don't use anybody? Do you use their defense? No. Do you use their kicker? Do you use like Rico Dowdle or Tet McMillan in a flex spot? How do you handle that?
If I had to, I don't want to play a Panther. If I had to, I would play Ted. Tedero McMillan. I'm not looking at Dowdle. I'm not looking at Chuba.
Yeah,
It's Ted or bust for me.
fair enough. All right, we agree. Rams win that game. Do they cover 10.5?
If I'm betting right now, I would bet yes.
Me too. I agree. All right. Sunday night, Amazon Prime and sexy time, as my friend Real Talk Raph would say. Um, I hate it because I like to flip channels. I don't need to watch the
Yeah.
commercials. And now with Amazon Prime, I'm locked in. I may end up watching it on my phone and watching something else on the TV. Number 7 seed Packers, 9-7-1. Earlier in the year, we loved them. Now we don't. Bears, 11-6. Bears a home favorite, 1.5 points. I still don't trust the Bears defense though. Last 3 games, just the last 3, 266 passing yards allowed per game, the most of any team in the playoffs. Last 3 games, 171 rushing yards allowed per game, most of any team in the playoffs. Last 3 games, they have allowed 25.3 points per game. So down the stretch, the Bears couldn't stop the pass, couldn't stop the run, and we're letting teams score 25 points a game. Caleb Williams this past week did nothing until the second half of that game. My thoughts, Packers win. Josh Jacobs runs it down the Bears' throat. What do you think?
I like it. let me ask you a quick question. Do you remember a playoffs being more wide open than this?
No,
If you took
especially in the NFC.
take, I mean, 100 people out there and have them fill out brackets, and I mean, you're going to get 100 different looks at this thing, man.
Yeah.
It is crazy how wide
Listen,
open
I'll
the
say it.
class is.
In the NFC, this weekend, I have the lower seed winning all three NFC games.
Interesting.
The Rams, the Packers, and sorry, buddy, the 49ers over the Eagles.
Fine. So the Packers and Bears, I believe they split the regular season series. And this is going to sound strange. So I'm picking Chicago in this. I
Okay.
obviously a 1.5 point spread. It's a coin flip. It's going to be close. I think most people think it's going to be close. And if it's a 3rd and 6 in the first quarter, and I get to pick my quarterback, I want it to be Jordan Love. But man, if it's 3rd and 12 in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes to go, I want Caleb Williams over
Mm.
Jordan Love. He's going to do something weird.
Oh, timeout, timeout.
I know.
Is
I
that
know.
coming from the guy?
Yes.
Oh.
Now listen, I'd still take Jay Daniels over Williams, but
This is
but you
from the
can.
guy who literally was, I could have made a garden gnome troll of Bobby and put him on my front lawn because you trolled me all last year into this year about how I said I like Caleb Williams more than Jaden Daniels. And you were victory lapping it in your underwears over being Jaden Daniels was right. Jaden Daniels, his arms just flapping around in the wind, can't even use it. Can't even use it. It's dead. And Caleb Williams, you have him winning in the first round. Huh. Huh.
This
As the legend Michael Scott once said, how the turntables turn.
oh man, this has more about Jordan Love than it does Caleb Williams.
Oh,
Um, yeah, well, but honestly, it's a coin flip here, and close your eyes, pick a team. This one, it's fine. But I'm going Bears.
you going Bears. Who is, okay, here's a question for you. Roman Dunze is back. TJ Moore's had moments. I have fallen completely in love with Luther Burden down the stretch, though, fantasy wise. He's been fantastic. Who is the Bears wide receiver? You could use DeAndre Swift. Doesn't excite me. If you need to use a tight end, Cole, you can make a case Colston Loveland is the second best tight end in the playoffs after Kittle. But with the 49ers, maybe you want to use McCaffrey so that you can't use Kittle. So would you go Loveland in a FFPC or would you use one of their wide receivers?
I think. I mean, did any player in football have a slower start than Colson Loveland? I mean, he had like 2 fantasy points in the first 4 games.
Yeah.
It was atrocious. He really came on through the end of the year. I think I do go Loveland here so that I can use somebody else like a McCaffrey from San Francisco.
Would you use Jacobs from Green Bay or one of the wide receivers? Or would you use their defense?
Hmm. I don't want to use that defense because I don't know if the Bears are going to throw up 35. They can. They're
Yeah. I'm kind
capable.
of saving the Texans for my defense.
Yeah, I think I would do that too. I don't mind Jacobs, but if you want to use a receiver, Christian Watson, he's back, right?
Yeah.
And his yards per route run this year, incredible numbers. So he's always primed for a big play, big touchdown catch.
Okay, fair enough.
And look, and you're
Sunday
doing these
afternoon.
big tournaments, right? You're doing these big tournaments, so you got to have someone like a Watson with a high ceiling that can hit that home run for you.
Yeah, I agree. I think Loveland, consistent, steady, get that out of your tight end. I think you're happy with that. Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock. The 6 seed Buffalo Bills, 12-5. 1.5 road favorites over the 13-4, 3-seeded Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, an interesting number here. The Bills defense has been the best defense of any team in the league over the last 3 games. Now, I say that with an asterisk. Why? They played the Jets on Sunday. Right? They played the Jets. The Jets didn't even try. So some of those numbers are skewed. But I want to just throw some numbers at you. You ready for this? Listen to these numbers over the last 3 weeks. Buffalo Bills have allowed 13.7 points per game. Over that same period, they have allowed 98 passing yards a game. 98 rushing yards a game would impress me. 98 passing yards is off the charts. Over the last 3 games, they have allowed quarterbacks 11.5 points per game and only 3 passing touchdowns. Their run defense has been significantly better over the last 3 games. 103.7 rushing yards. Again, caveat, the Jets game did skew some of these numbers. There's no doubt about it. They have not allowed a rushing touchdown to a running back over the last 3 games. They've allowed 13.7 points per game, and they've averaged 23. But here's the kick, and this is the question. What wins out? Bears allowing 13.7 points per game over the last 3. Jacksonville Jaguars have scored 32.7 over their last 3, while only allowing 14.7. So defensively, Jacksonville's been almost as good as Buffalo, but they are putting up points. Trevor Lawrence emerge. The man rises from the ashes.
Gosh.
He's risen from the ashes. The flowing blonde hair. Forget about, Big Dick Baker. It's the blonde beaut, Trevor Lawrence. In the words of Gorilla Monsoon at WrestleMania 3, it's the immovable object versus the irresistible force. I'm aggravating the shit out of you tonight. I love it. What happens here? Talk to me.
You got issues, man. You got some serious
By the
issues.
way, I do notice how you're trolling me throughout this entire show. Don't think it hasn't been noticed.
Okay. I
Don't
guess.
think the Baltimore Oriole hat on the microphone when my man Pete Alonso has left the Mets and gone to the Orioles. Don't think the troll wasn't noticed.
Okay.
But I digress.
All right. Man, this game is going to be awesome too. I think they
It is.
match up so well against each other. The Jaguars have this like Cinderella story feel to them. I mean, like you said, they were absolute trash for so many years, and they come out and win 13 games. You got to be kidding me. They have a
I
top
think we
8.
agree. If we said they won 9, we would have been like, good for them.
Yes, absolutely. They have a top 8 offense and scoring defense. I mean, that came out of absolute, and they're doing it without their number 2 overall pick, Travis Hunter, who was supposed to play both ways.
And
You
their
know what I
number
mean?
one wide receiver was a bust.
I feel like they got better after they lost Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
It's been a while. For me, I got the Jaguars pulling off the upset. The Jaguars were the best rush defense in the league last year or this year. And that's what Buffalo does. They have the number 1 rushing offense in
Yeah.
football. They're going to be head to head, smashing each other. The winner of that battle, I think, because I'm not worried about Buffalo's passing game. Yeah, you got Josh Allen, but they got no one to throw to. So I think it's really going to come down to who wins Jacksonville's rush defense or Buffalo's run offense.
Do you think, because I'm leaning Buffalo here, strictly on the experience standpoint, are you afraid the moment gets too big for Jacksonville?
Certainly. That's actually probably, if I had to pick the biggest negative for Jacksonville, it would be that. But we also saw, didn't Trevor Lawrence, wasn't he down last two years ago in the playoffs or something? He was down and threw like 4 touchdowns in the second half or something and brought a team back.
Yeah.
We'll have to go into that. However, it's different. The Buffalo, look, they're going to try to run the ball. Jacksonville, and if you're going to beat Buffalo's defense, you got to run the ball. Like their pass defense has been a little bit better than the run defense.
Yeah.
And Travis Etienne, I mean, might be the best offensive player for Jacksonville since Brian Thomas Jr. is not doing it, could be Jacoby Myers. But Jacksonville has the tools. We'll see if they have the coaching to take out Buffalo. Buffalo feels snake
You
bitten,
mentioned the
don't
run
they?
defense. Jacksonville's last 3 games, Jaguars are allowing only 82 rushing yards a game. So let me ask you this question. If you think the Jacksonville Jaguars are the winner of this game, Now, we already said we're using Puka from the Rams. Does that mean Trevor Lawrence could be your quarterback for a playoff fantasy team?
He could be, but I wouldn't want it because he doesn't have to win this game. If that defense steps up, I mean the Eagles just
So
held Buffalo to
you
12
don't see the
points.
winner of this game going to the Super Bowl.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
I
I
have
mean,
Buffalo going to the Super Bowl. I think this is Buffalo's year. I know it's crazy.
listen,
But go back to what you said. It's so wide open.
right. People say it every year. This is Buffalo's year. I thought last year was Buffalo's year. I mean, I'm telling you, they just feel like a snake bitten franchise where they get so close and they just can't get it done.
ATN, your player from the Jaguars to use
Yeah, I think so.
because of how bad the Buffalo run defense has been on the season.
Yeah. And I mean, they're going to
Who's
have
your
to lean on
Buffalo
someone.
player then? You can't be Josh Allen. If you think Buffalo's going to lose, it can't be Josh Allen.
I mean, do you want to put Kincaid out there? I mean, when he plays, when he's healthy, he produces. So if you wanted to do the tight end,
It's
I
tough to
mean, we
even
talked
use
about
Cook if
Colston
you think they're
Lovely.
going to lose because then you're losing
Right,
a running
right.
back.
Yeah,
And you're playing a running back in the one game you're using him in a tough matchup.
right. And you don't want to do that.
Fair enough. Saturday night special, your Eagles, the 3 seed, 11-6, against the 6 seeded 49ers, 12-5. Eagles, a 4.5 point road favorite, a home favorite, I should say. 44.5 is the total. You, my friend, I'm going to shut up on this one because you have a look of dejection, a look of sadness. If I was close to you, I'd give you a hug and tell you it would be okay, even though deep down in my soul, I know it won't be. You're not feeling good. You have the look of somebody's gonna take a big fat Purdy right all over your face. Go ahead.
You just want to touch me. I just
I
think
just want
this
to hug.
four, four
Don't
and a
make me
half
a bad
seems
guy.
4.5 seems too high. I don't know where they're getting that 4.5 from. I think it's going to
Really?
be closer than
Do you
that.
think they
Yeah.
should be road dogs, the Eagles?
Um, do you mean home dogs? No,
I mean,
no, I
home
don't.
dogs. Do you think they should be home? But a 1.5, 2 point favorite
Yeah,
more
give me two.
acceptable.
Yeah, I think 2.5 makes a little more sense here. I mean, just like the Jags run defense and the Buffaloes run offense. I mean, San Francisco's offense is their superpower, and Philly's defense is their superpower.
Seattle
Now,
shut them down though.
yeah, yep. Um, the it's all just going to come down to Philly's offense. If Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and Devonta Smith and Saquon and Tank Bigsby's got to get more work. If they show up,
You're giving up on Saquon.
no, no, no. But have you watched Tank Bigsby? He looks like rookie year Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, he is angry and he is always getting positive yards. He just needs a little more work. I'm not saying start him over Saquon. I'm not even saying 50-50, but give me 60-40. I mean, Bigsby has been looking really good. Um, but if Philly's offense shows up, the games shouldn't be close. The problem is, when is it going to show up? We're
That
waiting,
is as
waiting.
big a mystery as we've seen in the NFL all year. The Philadelphia
And
Eagles offense.
I cannot believe how well the defense has played with Philly. They go three and out. I don't know if this is true, but it sure feels like they go three and out more than any other team that I watch on TV. And obviously I'm paying a little closer attention because it's my guys, but my gosh. And I played defense. I know when I was in college, our defense was great. Our offense was terrible. And I know what it's like to be halfway through the third quarter and your offensive has gone three and out on every drive but one or two. I mean, it's rough. You are beat and exhausted. They got to get some first downs. They got to get this offense moving. I don't know if we can fire Kevin Patullo right now and hire Brian Dable. That'd be awesome. Bring him in as our offensive coordinator just for a playoff run. But man, it's going to be a good one. I don't like that it's going to be a good one, but it sure is.
All right, so I'm going to recap here for a minute.
Oh,
We
I got the
both
Eagles winning,
agreed
by the
on
way.
the Rams.
Yeah. We've
You
disagreed on
said
all of
the Bears. I said the Green Bay Packers. Buffalo, Jacksonville. You said Jacksonville, right?
it. Did we differ on every pick except the Rams.
I said Buffalo. And you're going Philadelphia?
Yes. I actually
Are you
think the
going
winner,
Philadelphia with your heart or your head?
both. I just can't listen. Hurts shows up when we need it. Big games, Hurts is there. And I'll be honest, I think I don't feel real strongly about it, but I think the winner of this game represents the NFC in the Super Bowl.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That I could get on board with. That I could see. I could get on board with that. Does Philly cover the 4.5?
I don't think so.
Late game field goal wins it.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Do they cover the 44.5 total?
Ooh, that's a good. You know what? I think they do. I think they do.
25, 25, 23
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah, something that's just gonna keep me on the edge of my seat and piss me off. But yes, I do think I think they go over the 44. But I do not think Philly covers a 4.5.
So then if you think Philly wins, you can't use McCaffrey.
Well, true, true.
You got to use Kittle.
Yeah. Well, then that would be great, right? Because then we don't have to worry about Loveland.
And who are you using from Philly? Is Hurts, if you think Philly can make a run, is Hurts the quarterback if it's not Trevor Lawrence or Josh Allen?
Yes, yes. For me, it is. Um, I mean, if you look at his performances in the Super Bowls that he's played in, it's been. I mean, he outperforms Patrick Mahomes every time. Um, but dude, this feels like an AJ Brown. AJ Brown's been on a run. If you take out like the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, he's like wide receiver 8, which is crazy to think of because everyone left him out for dead.
Yeah.
I think AJ Brown makes a real nice playoff run here, as long as Philly can win this weekend.
Yeah. No, I could go that and go in a different direction. So let me ask you this now. Let's pivot to the that's the 4:30. I said it was a Sunday
Yeah,
night game. That's the 4:30 game. The Sunday night game, Chargers and Patriots. Patriots the 2 seed, 14-3. The 11-6 Chargers. Justin Herbert good to play. Amari and Hampton though dealing with an ankle still. Um, what if I said that the Patriots are the AFC rep? Drake May, arguably the league MVP. It comes down to him or Stafford. You go Puka, you go Kittle, you go AJ Brown, and that Drake May is then your quarterback you use in an FFPC. Is that outrageous for you, or can you get along on that?
oh, I can definitely get along on that, dude. And look, I know you are Drake May's biggest supporter. You have been since July. Um, and dude, it's you 100% right.
He was my
I,
quarterback in the dynasty league we're in.
right.
What
And
a win that was for me drafting him whenever I drafted him.
New England played an absolute cake schedule. I mentioned that, 1 to 2 teams pick in the top 5 and then make the playoffs. They'll be the Patriots and Jaguars, right? I believe from last season, I believe they both picked in the top 5, both made the playoffs. Um, I know they played a cake schedule, but they did what they had to do.
Still have to
Whoever
win.
showed up, right? That's what they did. And
Yep.
do you know that the defense only gave up 30 points once all season? And the offense hasn't scored less than 24 since week 5, and it was a
Yep.
win against the Bills. I mean, I know 24 points is not like, oh man, beating the brakes off people, but like that's 3+ touchdowns. You haven't done worse than that since week 5. I mean,
Last three
that's
games. You want to hear some numbers? Last three
yeah.
games. Patriots have scored 36 points per game and have allowed 14.7. Like that's you're blowing people off the field over the last 3 weeks.
I am a firm believer of the old adage: defense wins championships, and the run game wins championships. Give me
And
defense,
Ramadre
the
is
man.
completely revitalized.
And guess what? And if he's not doing great, you still got Travion Henderson. The defense
And
is
maybe
great.
the fastest running back in the league when you see him get into the open field.
He he gets it, man. That dude
Ooh,
gets it.
I can't drive that fast on a dark road at my age. I go very much slower than that. We talked about that before the show. The Travion Henderson, when he turns the corner and sees nothing but green grass, has a completely other level. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's Tyreek Hill esque. Like
Yeah.
when Hill hits that gear, and I was just like, okay, well, this is a touchdown for sure. I mean, dude, it is beautiful to watch.
And credit to Mike Vrabel when everybody who was screaming from the rooftops, why is Ramondre still in the lineup? Why is Ramondre still playing? When he got hurt and Henderson went off, Ramondre came back and kept playing. Well, guess what? Ramondre is an asset, a big asset down the stretch for that Patriots team, catching the ball out of the backfield. You can make a case right now that New England Patriots offense is the two running backs before anybody else. I know Stephon Diggs had 1,000-yard season, and he's dealing with some off the field stuff, but he'll be good to go this weekend. But nonetheless, that offense against the Chargers goes as those two running backs go as much as Drake May.
Yeah, but against the Chargers cornerbacks are terrible. Like they're
True.
passing deep, right? And not that we mentioned Diggs. It's not like the Patriots are rolling out all pro wide receivers, but they don't have to against the secondary. What is it? 3.5 point home favorites? Man,
Pats 3.5. Total is 46. Now, real
they're
quick though,
covered.
a couple of other interesting numbers talking about the Patriots defense too, right? Last three games, 140, just under 140 passing yards allowed per game. They haven't been able to run on. They've allowed 132 rushing yards over the last three. Do the Chargers have a good enough running game? Amarian Hampton limited by an ankle. Kamani Vidal, there's questions there. Chargers, 205 passing yards over the last three, 108. Here's the interesting thing. Chargers over the last three games, though, have not allowed a running back to score a touchdown in any way, shape, or form.
Good luck with
So,
that.
for whatever that's worth, only allowing 18.7 points per game. But the Chargers offense only scoring 17 points per game. Granted, the starters didn't play that last game against Denver. 4.5 point favorite for New England, a 3.5 point favorite for New England. What do you got happening here?
Oh yeah, New England easy. They cover.
I agree. I'm with you on New England. New England covers. I think New England wins by a touchdown easily. But I'm
And
looking
look,
forward to it. That's a fun Sunday nighter. I'm
yeah,
actually looking forward to that.
when you mentioned Mike Vrabel, there's so many people that they're educated, but maybe not all the way. Like they
But
don't
he's
think
the
about.
retread that you didn't like.
No, Vrabel shouldn't have been fired, but Kevin Stefanski shouldn't have been fired.
Right.
So it's very similar. Those, you know what?
Yes.
That's a great point. It's the exact same situation.
He went from AAA to the majors by
Yeah,
leaving Tennessee and going to
that's
New
it.
England.
That's it.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like coaching in the minors to coaching in the majors. And what else did he do? He stepped in it with a young quarterback ready to roll.
Right. Right.
Right? It's your dream
Yeah,
scenario.
it
It's
is.
your Jackson Dart. It's maybe your Cam Ward. It's your Raiders drafting a quarterback. It's your dream scenario. That's what Vrabel walked into. That's the Mike McCarthy. That's the Stefanski. That's the John Harbaugh. The veteran coach who's been there, seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, stabilize everything. And like you said, nobody thought 14 wins. Nobody. Nobody thought even the AFC East, right? If New England came out and won 10 games this year, Vrabel would still be coach of the year. And if you were a Patriots fan, you would say, hey, they had improvement. Drake May played well. You got the quarterback of the future. You got the running back of the future. Go draft a wide receiver. Improve whatever, whatever, whatever. But the pieces are in motion. Now, Drake May took a leap and bound, and now they're Super Bowl contenders. So, but it's that same formula. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And my original point was Mike Vrabel doesn't care what other people say. Why is Ramondre playing? Why
Yeah.
this? What you're winning games. And what people don't see is they don't see Ramondre's in. How about pass blocking?
Yep.
How about picking up a blitz? Hey,
Fantastic at that.
right. And you don't see it. That's why Drake May is able to complete all these passes. That's why we're throwing for touchdowns. That's why Stephon Diggs is over the hill, but still got 1,000 yards receiving. It's like all those little things that people don't see. Guys like Mike Vrabel don't care about that mess. You can tell me all you want to tell me. Travion Henderson should be playing. You're so much better. Well, look, if each of them have a ball in their hands, yeah, I probably want Henderson. But Ramondre brings so many other things that you don't see, or in
Yeah,
the stat sheets at least.
absolutely. I agree. I laugh. I mean, right? Like I say it all the time, like on the radio on Sirius XM Fantasy. right? Like Mike Vrabel doesn't care what I think about what's best for my fantasy team.
Right. Right.
What's best for my fantasy is he was Travion Henderson getting 87 carries a game and busting two of them or three of them around the corner. He don't care because Ramadre, like you said, can protect Drake May's backside better than any other running back that they have on that roster or maybe even around the league. That's the reality. And yeah, he puts the ball on the floor every now and then, but you tolerate it because your quarterback, your franchise, is on his feet for 95% of the game. So there you go. Final game of the slate, Monday night special, the number 5 seeded Houston Texans. I think another surprise. I don't think any of us had them at 12-5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a guy older than you and I combined, Aaron Rodgers, 10-7. Steelers, they got in by a missed field goal. They got in because a Baltimore Ravens defensive back slipped on the grass late in the game. Let's just call it what it is. I have zero faith in the Pittsburgh Steelers in this matchup. Zero. Aaron Rodgers' inability to move against that Texans defense and the way they could get after it with just 4 guys, right? This isn't the Giants against the Patriots in the Super Bowl where they were blitzing 7. This is 4 guys getting after him and doing it just fine. Will Anderson. We don't talk about him enough because we got Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons, but Will Anderson and that Texans front line, they're going to eat on Monday night.
So, one thing I forgot to mention was if you remember in the summertime, we were talking about, our playoff predictions and all that stuff, back in August or whatever. I said, I don't think the Buffalo Bills are good enough to make the playoffs, but I don't think there's anyone else good enough to win the AFC East. I don't think there's another team that can take it from them. And I just missed out on the. I was right about the Bills, but good grief, no one saw those Patriots coming. But dude, when the Texans traded up for Will Anderson, and I watched his film, and I was like, you know what, Will Anderson, he's definitely the best pass rusher in this draft, but he's kind of a boring watch. Like he's not super explosive. He doesn't have these amazing pass rush moves. He just gets the job done. And I'm telling you what, man, they trade up at 3 overall because they took Stroud at 2, and then they traded up because they had 2 first-round picks to get Will Anderson at 3.
Talk about a draft setting a franchise up. Holy cow.
Dude, I was like, man, I don't know about that. I know he's a good player, but that's a lot to give up. Go up to 3. But man, good for Nick Caserio and the coaching staff at Houston because this dude is a monster. And what a great call for them.
Yeah.
This 3.5 points is too low, right?
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to be the guy who dumps cold water on you, but does this matter to you? Let me ask you this. Last 3 games, they've allowed 227 passing yards a game, and they've allowed 22 points a game. Little more than maybe what we thought. Now, the run defense has been great, 98 yards a game. Steelers' run defense over the last 3 has been a little bit better, 77 rushing yards a game allowed. You could throw up and down on Pittsburgh, almost 257 yards over the last 3. Pittsburgh's actually allowed less points per game over the last 3 than the Houston Texans. Does that matter to you?
No, not really. I don't see how with that defense that Houston has, what does Pittsburgh have to be able to move the ball down the field? You got a quarterback with anchors. Jaylen Warren he's productive. He gets it done. Does DK play? If he does it matter? They got no receivers.
The best receiver right now.
Right. You know what? You might be right. They get 45 tight ends they can throw to. I just don't see how the Steelers offense can keep up with the Texans playmakers that they have. Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins is coming on strong, man. He's like great value, Nico Collins. And
Dalton Schultz is a grossly underrated tight end as well.
He's gross is why. He's slow and he can't break a tackle, but he somehow finds spots in zones
and ends up with 60 yards a game and maybe a touchdown.
I know it's so crazy. But I just don't see how Pittsburgh's offense can keep up with Houston's offense. Not that Houston offense is great. I'm not saying that it is, but
Right.
they're not going up against Houston's defense.
3-point favorite. It was originally 3.5. It's now Houston by 3. Total
Wow.
is low. 30, yeah. 39.5 is the total. Lowest total on the weekend.
Well, now I'm a little bit frightened because Vegas knows more than all of us.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll still go with the Houston with the over. I think they
Really,
got it.
it's though Houston by 6 because the home team always gets 3.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I'll take Houston to cover 3.5.
Total 39.5 over under.
Probably
39.5 is low.
it is low, but I think I'd go under if I have to choose. If I'm betting for real, I'm staying away from it. I don't mind betting on Houston to cover the 3.5. I'm not going to put money on the over or the under, but I would probably pick the under.
21-17 Houston.
Yeah, I can see that.
24-17 Houston. Something like that.
Yeah.
Might might not be the barn burner that the NFL hopes for on a Monday night.
No. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Pittsburgh play Carolina. Now that might be so at least a nice, decent,
My
close
wife
game
will have
of
me in a sleep center thing, and I have sleep
you
apnea.
know,
Um,
of equally matched teams.
there you go. All right, so we agree on 3: Rams, Pats, Houston. We disagree on 3.
Yep.
So now is the surprise I have for you, my friend.
Okay.
Every win is worth 2 points until the Super Bowl, where the win will be worth 3 points. Winner at the end of the postseason gets a bottle of their choice sent to their home
Wow.
within financial reason.
Okay.
Fair?
Sure. I like it.
There you go.
I like it.
We
Fair,
find a
fair shake.
we find
Fair
a
shake.
we find a place near us that will deliver.
Okay.
Hey,
Worst case, we can cash app whatever we need to do. Worst case.
to go by the app. Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll decide on a fair amount for the said bottle. And so really the Rams, Bears, and Houston, they negate each other. It comes down to the Jags and Buffalo, Philly and San Fran, and Green Bay and the Bears for
I
this
like
week.
it.
So there you go. I'll be keeping the tallies. And 2 points for everyone who gets it. Who is, in your opinion, the player? This is a weird question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When this is all said and done, when the 6 games are over this weekend, right? And you start texting me, who is the player we're going to talk about the most coming out of this weekend? Who is
Oh,
the holy shit, what a game blank had?
I tell you who I hope it's not. I
Who?
hope it's not. I hope it's not Caleb Williams. That's that's who I hope it isn't. Um, you know what? We talked about him already. I hope I hope it's Travis Etienne. I hope he's the one because you have Buffalo, so that would mean
Right.
that I got my 2 points for that game.
Okay.
But it also it would show Jacksonville like they don't have to rely on Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Okay.
And dude, Jacksonville's fun to root for.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's
I'm going to
yours?
say it's Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, you did talk about him. Yeah, and guess what? That gives you 2 points.
Yeah, I think the Green Bay Packers give Josh Jacobs the ball and they say run us to victory.
They need to because, like I said, I don't think it's Jordan Love.
Yeah, so that's what I think happens, and I think Josh Jacobs 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, something like that. That's my go-to.
Wow, that's big time.
Yeah, it's a big game. It's a big game against the Bears. Big game. Weather's not a factor. Playing in Chicago is not a factor for Green Bay. They're both used to playing on frozen dirt, so
You
it's
know
fine.
what? Uh, I bet ETN comes close to in total yards to that because
Yeah,
my guy can catch out of
140,
the
huh?
backfield too. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I like it.
All right. It'll be fun to watch. All right, my friend. As always, this has been fun. So glad we were back at it. We'll be back every week throughout the postseason. So make sure you follow us here on the Clipboard Confessional YouTube channel. Follow me on X at A Fantasy. You are what? RWA? Is that
16
correct?
or
Yep.
wall 16.
RWA 16 WAUGH is how you spell WA. Bobby, my friend, it's been a blast. Thank you as always. What's up?
One quick thing, you should get a plug, man. You got a new spot on Sunday mornings, right? On Sirius XM?
Yes, starting, you heard that. Next couple of weeks for the postseason, if you want to hear more of these ridiculous takes of mine, starting this Sunday for the postseason, Rotoballer Game Day. You may know me from Rotoballer Radio. Rotoballer Game Day in the next 3 weeks is a 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock. We will be me and a combination of either Josh Hayes or Scott Angle will be leading you right up to kickoff this Sunday and the next couple of Sundays throughout the NFL postseason. So I get to sleep a little bit later. I don't have to be up at 5:30 in the morning to talk at 6 a.m. We start at 11. We'll be on till 1. Turn the headset off, turn the game on. That's how that's going to work. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, my friend. Thank you for mentioning it.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for you.
Thanks, man. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And we will see you next week right here, Clipboard Confessional with Bobby and Anthony. Enjoy the football,
Man.
folks.